Well, I guess I first found out that I had a hearing loss in primary school, actually. Just a standard screening revealed that I had some hearing problems. Wasn't enough that really kept me down or anything, but as the years went by, my hearing just gradually got a little bit worse and worse. And by the time I was in my mid-20s in college, I just realized I couldn't fake it anymore. I was having too much trouble picking things out in my classes and when talking to people, and it was at that point that I finally got fitted for hearing aids. They helped. They did help. But they, certainly aren't the most glamorous item to have. They're, can't be made fashionable the way eyeglasses can. They're a little irritating after a long day of wearing them. Your ear starts to physically hurt in the outside part of your ear. I also, would find that they just weren't comfortable for me, just in terms of the squealing noises that they would make. I remember one time I was having lunch with my sister and we're eating sandwiches, and with every chewing motion of my mouth, my hearing aids would feed back and squeak, and I could see my sister looking around, and I'm like, yeah, that's my head. So when I heard about the Esteem, I was interested in it and thought I would check it out, and it turned out that I was a good candidate for it. And the surgery actually went very well. It was a few hours in actually an outpatient medical surgical unit, and my recovery actually went fine. I was a little groggy the day after, but was well enough by later that afternoon I could sit and read a newspaper, read a book. When it was first turned on, it was odd because there's been so much time that I haven't heard things that I wasn't sure what I should be hearing and what I shouldn't. So it just took a while to actually get used to the sounds around me. What I thought was interesting about having the Esteem was that I found that there was a lot of little background noises in life that I was just entirely missing. I remember one time, shortly after I had been activated and had the device adjusted the first time, I was reading a newspaper out on my side porch, and I had a bug candle, a citronella candle lit next to me. And I'm reading the paper, and I'm hearing this noise, and it's like a little popping noise. And it took me probably a good 2 or 3 minutes before I finally figured out that it was the candle guttering. I was just stunned. I'm like, they make noise. I had no idea they made noise. The same thing with having a cat. I have a cat, and apparently she purrs. She purrs loudly. I was not aware of the fact that she was quite that loud whenever, I had her before. Usually I could tell she'd purr when I picked her up and, put my fingers under her throat. Now I can tell. Now I can tell when she's content. And I can also tell when she's ticked off. Her yows and meows come out a lot louder than they ever did before as well. I think one of the best things about it, though, is at the time I actually had the implant surgery done, I had a newborn daughter. She was only about 4 months old. And after having the Esteem activated, it's nice because I find I can actually hear her and understand her, and I'm really not sure that I would have been able to have understood her as well as I do, without having the Esteem. I mean, the hearing aids help, but again, there's a lot of feedback, there's a lot of squealing with them, but I find that I can actually hear my daughter, and that means the world to me, the fact that I can actually understand her well. One of the biggest changes that I've had ever since having the Esteem is that I don't think about my hearing loss all the time, which was the case before. I really sort of felt that every day, at least a few times a day, if not several, I would kind of feel that loss. And by the loss, I mean, of course, the physical hearing loss, but also sort of the emotional loss of knowing that there's something out there that I should be perceiving and picking up that I just wasn't. With the Esteem, I don't think about that so much anymore. It's always there, it's always on, it's ready when I need it, which is really nice. I didn't have that with the hearing aids. Whenever I go into a meeting for work, I can actually understand people a lot better than what I could with my hearing aids before. And that's just been invaluable because a lot of the times I would feel prior to having the Esteem that I would go in and sort of have to piece things together after the fact. And it's nice to be able to go into a meeting and feel like I have a better grasp of everything that's being discussed and what my role in things is. And I think it just basically makes me a more effective employee. And everyone wants that. Everyone wants to feel that, they're good at what they do and they're effective. And, being able to hear well is, of course, a huge part of that.